Welcome to another episode of the Indian Startup Desktop. As
Hello, hello,
Hello,
usual,
hello.
everyone.
as usual, let's check out some funny memes from this last couple of months. So, as you know, awards is a big deal. Everybody has a Forbes 30 under 30 award. But apparently, Abid Hassan got invited for a Women Entrepreneur of the Year award for just 2.75 lakhs in GST.
I like how GST is separately mentioned.
Look at this.
Oh,
What do
so
you
funny.
pronounce? Kanjus?
Oh God.
Damn,
All right, let's
this is
move on.
interesting.
So, as you know, the last couple of weeks has been a little dismal in terms of the news that some of us, heard. So apparently, this lady from, Ernst and Young got, a lot of pressure from work, and she actually passed away. And look at what our finance minister has to say about that. Seek God, learn good discipline. Sheesh.
I think so. This has a lot to do with from where she started her career with
What does that
PwC.
mean?
I mean, PwC, the Big Four, they have similar culture. I think so. She was okay with that, and she doesn't resonate with the pain. It's fine.
But it's just, I think it's horrible, like being the finance minister. And after all the bills that have been passed, this year and all of the backlash that she's received for increasing so much taxation on, just trading, etc., making comments like
See,
these, which clearly highlight, overworked employees, and then they actually, losing their life and just passing such a, uh, you know, uh, just a like a random thought or a comment is just, I
It's
think
very
it's just horrible.
insensitive. It's extremely insensitive,
Yeah,
like
it's very
at
insensitive.
that, right?
but one interesting thing that I find about Nirmala Sitharaman is that she's one such minister who gets put into places where there is a lot of chaos. She became the defense minister when we had a war with China. She's handling finance ministry when we are going through a chaotic phase during the COVID and all. And I had kept a track of it. She always takes care of the portfolio where there is some chaos. I probably think this has something to do with the way she is put or she accepts responsibility. But you can clearly find a pattern that wherever she is there, either she's put there because there is chaos or she gets there and there is a chaos made there. Either of one.
I want to say one line which could get me into trouble is, if you can't solve the problem, please don't be the problem.
Still insensitive as fuck,
I
man.
mean,
Let's leave it at that. Uh, let's
yeah.
move
Yeah.
on. Let's move on to one of our recurring segments of the Indian Startup Desktop. Incredible section.
Guys, how many times will we do free promotion for Cred? I think so. We are talking about Cred consistently
So
every
relevant. What
time.
can we do about it? Okay, let's wait.
Yeah.
Let's wait.
Sure.
So Cred
It's
is
not our fault they're making headlines every week.
exactly. So Cred is considered to be one of the most controversial fintech startups, in our time. And everybody kind of pokes fun at them that oh this model will never make money. Kunal Shah is just burning VC money, etc. But Cred's been posting their numbers recently, and the numbers look solid as fuck. Is 2,400 crore revenue enough to settle the debate if Cred has a business model? I will stick my neck out and say they will cross 5,000 crore in FY25 and will be close to profitability by FY26.
I think the kind of growth that Cred has is incredible, and a lot of it has to obviously do with the lending rails that they've been able to set up in the last couple of years, which is obviously on the back of all of the marketing and burning of VC money that they did to actually gain market share, acquire those customers, and eventually, in some sense, it's proving the point that you serve the top 1% and you make good money.
I don't know whether I completely concur with that, but although that's the thesis that has played out, but the most interesting stat, which is on the same thesis, is that an ARPU or the average revenue per user metric for a phone pay is 95 rupees, whereas for credits close to 950 rupees. It's a 10x jump with having I think so 1/10 of the total user base of what PhonePe has. That's
Yeah.
incredible. But so to say, I think so these are both different business models. And it would be interesting for us to sit and see like what is Cred going to do beyond lending, which is going to be a cash flow, or would everything else be an ancillary service to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just one more point I want to add is what is also impressive is, obviously while their gross revenue has grown to 2,400 crores, their losses have also just, I think, calmed down by around 40% and are only at around 600 crores. And if they continue with this rate, then
1600
what
crores.
Deepak has mentioned,
I think so.
no,
They are 1600 crores.
600 crores is what, they still burn, which I think in the next 2 years is, they're on the right track to become profitable, provided they also foray into one or two additional revenue streams, which really make sense for them. And at least as far as I know, I think they're also going to enter the loan against security space, which also has been the talk of the town, in the last 4 or 5 months, with a lot of lenders, a lot of brokers actually launching loan against securities.
Yeah. So look, I think let's take a different angle to this. I'm a huge fan of Cred. I absolutely love the app's design experience itself. But that being said, look at what Cred's head of design told recently. Another post by two Ganda lady. If you were to die tomorrow, if you were to die tomorrow, you should be insanely proud of the level of detail that you put into the last release. Yeah, because your dying thoughts is going to be how great you did at your work, right?
So I remember this waking up from coffin meme where he's already dead, but he's suddenly surprised with some fact and he's like, "What did someone say? Did I miss a detail? Did I miss that font size change in my design?" No.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to one of the most important segments of this episode. So there's been a lot of drama over the last couple of weeks around Coldplay and BookMyShow. The TLDR is Coldplay announced that they'll be performing in India. BookMyShow announced that they'll be selling tickets within a matter of seconds, if not minutes. All the tickets got sold out, which led to a huge uproar on social media. A lot of drama. Let's see what it's about.
Guys, can we take a minute to please cry?
Saksham, you're a huge Coldplay fan, right? I mean, self-proclaimed Coldplay fan.
Yeah.
Did you get tickets, by the way?
Self-proclaimed, I did not get any tickets. We were 5 or 6 of us with 10 devices sitting. And all I was telling my friends is, guys, they're not doing anything different than probably half the country, at this point in time. We have to be innovative. I don't know how we can just have more devices and get a ticket. And we did not get a ticket. And it's sad. And it's still sad. And I'll just leave it at that.
One thing I think all of us should comment on is, do you think reselling tickets in the black market is a big deal? I still haven't made up my mind about it. I do agree that it's a free market. People should be able to do whatever they want, but I also understand that there are going to be hardcore fans and just preventing them or just, making them pay exorbitant prices over and above what the concert organizer charges is a little weird. Saksham, you being a diehard Coldplay fan, does this make sense to you?
I think so. So the one thing that you mentioned, right, since obviously the reselling happens across industries, not just in the music sort of concerting and ticketing space. So from being a purely capitalist and business point of view, yeah, sure, why not? Absolutely, you should do that. You should make money. There is all the merit. But on the other side, being a fan also, right? I think it's a lot more emotions attached, that people have, and it's just about giving people a fair chance to be able to attend a concert, which people
Okay,
have been wanting to do for so many years.
let me
And
stop you
yeah,
right there. Let me stop you right there. Do you call yourself a true Coldplay fan?
I would believe so. Yes.
Name 10 Coldplay songs on the top of your head right now. Let's go.
Okay. We'll start with my favorite song, Yellow. We have Him for the Weekend. We have Fix You. We have Viva La Vida. We have The Scientist. We have Clocks. We have Speed of Sound. Charlie Brown. Life in Technicolor. I think that's about 10, 11.
Sure.
Magic. Yeah.
I feel now I
Yeah.
don't feel bad that you didn't get tickets for the concert.
Yeah.
But this issue has just gone over and beyond. Book My Show boss questioned by police for following Coldplay ticket outing controversy in India. Pawan, what are your thoughts?
On this point, right, if you could just play this video, I was actually last night thinking like, what's going on at Book My Show, and then it suddenly reminded me of a video which went viral last year, where the BookMyShow's CEO is saying that we don't have any competition in the country because we are pretty good at what we do. And we clearly
Yeah,
see Zomato to be listening to that last year. The Pinder Goyal somewhere saying that I'll take a note of it. They're acquiring Insider. And there was a Ken report yesterday that I read that Zomato has all plans to take over the number of tickets sold to a level which is almost 1.5 to 2x of what BookMyShow already does. And it took like close to 15 years for BookMyShow to do that, and it takes only like what, couple of years for Zomato to go for that.
Yeah, for some
The
reason,
TL there is not that. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I think people can't be on the same side for this. Like, look at this tickets with a face value of 2,500 to
yeah.
35,000 rupees started appearing on resale sites at marked up prices. In some cases, as high as 9,60,000. That's insane.
That's too much.
The
Yeah.
best way would have been to put a credit card in front and charge the tickets exorbitantly high so that BookMyShow would
Yeah,
have
see,
also
which
made
is
more
how
money.
even the Diljit Dosanjh thing on Zomato got sold out. But at least Zomato did it in a better way, partnered with the bank, put out a credit card. So, at least done in a more controlled fashion, and it did not really outrage people, beyond a certain point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Zomato is
I
clearly the
think
favorite
so.
also with just so much that they've been doing in the last, 1 year. Everybody, I think the entire country is also sort of rooting for Deepend going to, win, and he's become like this poster boy of the Indian startup ecosystem.
Yeah.
I think so.
Like
That was also to do with different TAMs for Diljit and different people for Coldplay. It was one show or two shows that were announced for Coldplay. Diljit was five. I
Yeah,
remember although it was sold
yeah,
out, the Guwahati shows and all empty. I think so. Coldplay was more of FOMO buying, exclusivity, kind of
I agree.
people trying to seek attention that you didn't get it, I got it. Yeah, I think so. That was more on those lines. Don't know. Let's see.
Yeah. Saksham, this is a gift for
Yeah.
you. Since you couldn't get Coldplay tickets, we'll actually reveal the mystery guest at the Coldplay concert in Bangalore.
Let's go.
There is a good chance that this could actually happen because
I think so. Modi ji was on match yesterday, right?
Modi is
India
incredible,
Bangladesh, if I'm
bro.
not
He's
wrong.
done so much for us. He's built
Now
UPI.
I am more sad. I am just extremely sad now that I get to miss
That
Coldplay
Mo-
and the mystery guest.
Okay.
I thought you were sad that Modi ji is getting to see them and you are not able to. Sorry.
Modi ji can do anything, sir.
Let's move on to the next
No.
section. So the self-proclaimed Indian Elon Musk is back at it, again. So Bhavish Agarwal, who's the founder of Ola Electric, Krutrim, and a bunch of other startups that's not yet found product market fit, is back at it again. So he had put out a post saying about how they're excited to grow their, EV business. And Kunal Kamra, a very popular stand-up comedian in India, asked him when he's going to resolve all the existing issues. And look at the elafda that happened between them then. Um, do Indian consumers have a voice? Do they deserve this? Two-wheelers are many daily wage workers' lifeline. Anyone who has an issue with Ola Electric, leave your story below, tagging all. And look at this guy's reply. Since you care so much, Kunal Kamra, come and help us out. I'll even pay more than you earned for this failed tweet or else from your failed comedy career. Or else sit quiet and let us focus on fixing the issues for the real customers. You're expanding service, blah blah blah. Sheesh, look, I understand that people, founders need to be given that benefit of doubt because they push the envelope, they do things that people haven't done before. But I think at some point you need to look internally and understand that in order to truly succeed in India, you need to be humble, you need to show humility in the way you talk and the way you operate as well. Saksham, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I think this is just horrible, guys. Like maybe I maybe want Pawan to comment on this, right?
I
Why
mean,
don't you go ahead, Pawan?
I have some different opinions. I think so. Yeah, being humble, specifically for a public listed company, is very important metric. And markets are, in some way, they reflect truth of how companies perform. And these kind of statements cause fluctuations in the public markets, which is not good for a company. And
Yeah.
now it's because it's a public company. It's not just that it's not good for the company, so founder is suffering. It's all the shareholders also suffering. So that's a
Yeah.
different way to look at it altogether. But in this case, I think so. I am surprised that a comedian was able to get a public listed company market cap being wiped out over a single night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Isn't
that was
that
so funny.
interesting?
That was so, yeah, it was very, very, very
Yeah, I think
interesting.
the
Yeah.
stock dipped by about 9% the following trading day, but
Yeah,
the most funniest part was this guy's accusing the comedian of it being a paid tweet, and look at what some of the
yeah,
popular influencers basically had to say, about that, right?
Even before that, right? He was when Kunal Kamra actually replied to the tweet that Bhavish had put. He became personal and he went saying, "Okay, did that hurt you? What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna cry about it?" And it's
Yeah.
just so bad to see, dude.
Look at this. I don't know if Kunal's tweet is paid or not, but I sure know that your PR agency is investing heavily on paid tweets. Have received multiple requests to say good things about your company. Unfortunately for you, no money is sufficient enough for us to guide through our teeth. And look at this. Bhavish Agarwal is showing the world how it's done. 1,000 network partners before the festive season. Hi, won't be possible for us to take this. Do you want to? No, we don't believe in. Brutal as fuck.
I like the guy who took the screenshot, right? He just wanted to make it clear that he has not taken money for them. That's why I took the full screenshot. If he had taken the money from them, he would have only taken the first screen and then posted it probably.
Yeah, it's actually this lady called CA Garma Bajpai, but yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting.
Let's move on to the next segment. Swiggy kicks Deepinder Goyal off Shark Tank. No, as Saksham mentioned, Deepinder Goyal
Oof,
is
oof.
the poster boy for the Indian startup, scene. And he was a very popular guest in the show Shark Tank. But because Swiggy is sponsoring the show right now, I think they asked him to get kicked out. Saksham, your thoughts?
Firstly, I think it's damn funny. In fact, I was recently seeing an interview when Deepinder Goyal was interviewing with some lady, and he said that yeah, Swiggy threw me out, guys. Like I was kicked off Shark Tank, and he just seemed casual about it. But I think one good thing is that obviously Swiggy coming up and showing that they're not afraid of competition, that they're ready to go head on with Zomato, even though Zomato obviously is growing so much, especially with their Blinkit business, with their all the utensils and the crockery business that they do for the restaurants, all of those businesses. But on the other side, it's surprising that it feels a little off that Zomato, who has so much money, is sort of shying away from just spending 25 crores. Like something feels off. Pawan, you want to maybe take a dig at
They're a
this?
public listed company. They need to cut down on, unnecessary spending. That's probably why.
I don't think so. They have spent 1,500 crores last year. They'll be continuing to spend 1,500 crores this year. Swiggy is spending 1,800 crores on marketing expenses. And I'm pretty sure they did not do any investment in Shark Tank last year, but they got the highest ROI because Deependra Goyal was on 2 episodes of the Shark Tank
Yeah.
last year. And if they actually wanted to get it, they would have gone and bid ahead of 25 crores, which is said that Swiggy got the deal for 25 crores. I don't know what the internal
Yes.
contingencies for getting a Shark Tank deal is, but clearly it doesn't come out to seem that Dipendra Goyal was kicked out of Shark Tank or he was not able to afford or Zomato was not able to afford to pay that 25 crores. I think so it has to go beyond that. I think so this is something of sorts where probably Zomato wants Swiggy to also thrive and have a fair competition in the market. Something of the orders of what happened between Bill Gates and Apple when Apple was almost bankrupt in 1997. Then Bill Gates put this check of close to $100 million, and from there
Yeah.
the upright happened. I think so. It's more on the CCI lines or competition lines or avoiding monopoly lines to just have the entire market for them and not allow the third party there.
Yeah.
I feel so. I don't know. Maybe.
Sure, Pawan. I've also seen that YC's new video, but yeah, I get your point.
Which one? Which one?
Never mind. I think this one, the next tweet you have now. And this is a tweet that's, and this is a post that's very close to a lot of our, hearts. But my
Yeah.
ex-boss and Saksham's, current founder, Nikl Kumar, co-founder of Setu, is back at it. India's Startup Desktop has an operator's talent density problem. There are far too many young folks leaving opportunities on the table to become founders before building the muscle of scaling existing businesses. This is one stark difference I see between the valley and here. I'm all in for people to start up, but I'm more worried about our folks building phenomenal or generational companies. Young founders should either have crazy ability to learn or grow to next orbits or experience of building and scaling. The context is that a lot of us at Setu, Avan especially, actually moved out of the company over the last couple of weeks to start something of his own. A lot of us think this tweet is targeted directly at him. Pavan, we give you the opportunity to.
I don't think so. It's targeted or something. I think so. There is a
That's
pattern
not what
there.
you told
I
me
think
when
so.
I called you before this recording.
Okay, sure. If you want to put that on me and get out of it, but I think so. There are like a lot of people starting out, and this entire Gen AI wave, like enabling people to start up and build something that people can use, right? So I think so. There has more to do with like number of people doing that. But on the specific side, this founder versus operator and all, right? I think so. It's the thing of risk versus reward. Starting up in this age doesn't have that high amount of risk, and it's a learning experience in itself. And if something goes right, where the success rate is close to maybe like less than 5% or less than 1%, maybe, but the reward is damn high. But one stark difference between how it is looked in the valley versus in India also is that if you see any YC startup or any nascent startup that gets started up in Silicon Valley, the founding team gets or the operators get a percentile value of the entire cake, which is enough motivating because it grows and has
Yeah.
given like good control to the operator to whenever sell. And as company grows, that percentile value grows, which is not seen in India as such. And the entire concept of ESOP versus RSU, the restricted stock units, right? That also gives a different ability altogether. I think so. It's multiple reasons, but I broadly agree with where Nikl is coming from as well. But broadly also see that रिस्क है तो इसके ले लो.
Okay,
I
so
think it's also more to do with not just people wanting to start up. So I think what Pawan you also spoke about is okay how to sort of do faster wealth generation. I think what he's trying to highlight is the problem with our generation of wanting to do things fast, and instead of let's say taking 15 years to do something, how can we get there in 5 years? Which I think is not a bad place to be. I think it's good that our generation is making that sort of trying to bring that cultural shift in how the corporate industry itself works. But on the same side, I think what PJ, the founder of Moneylicious Securities or Han, also called out is that people are people think that once they've built a Series B, Series C, Series D funded company, they've become big enough. But we are not really building anything of a large scale unless we become somebody like a Tesla or a Meta or an Amazon. We're not even thinking that far out. We're just thinking, okay, if I raise 2 rounds, I'll probably make $1 million, and that's about it. And I think that's also the issue that they're trying to highlight.
yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
cool.
What do you think, Pete? We didn't hear your comments on this. For
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone who wants to start up but hasn't taken that bet, we should hear the other side of story also.
Yeah, look, I think everyone for themselves. I don't think there is a ideal time to start up, right? It's not like, you
Yeah.
decide you're going to quit on May 31st and I mean on March 31st and start something on the next day. I think it eventually has to find you. The problem should resonate with you and the solution should essentially find you. So yeah, look, I think everyone for himself, while Nikhil does have a point, I don't think it applies to each and every single human out there. I'm sure even when Nikhil started up, he wasn't he did not have experience being a founder. He was also an operator. Obviously, he's seen scale, at Beam and UPI and all that. But I think he's taken the plunge, and I'm all for people who are going ahead and taking that plunge themselves.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, we all love Nikl. Let's be honest about it.
The next segment, we're going to cover grapevine. Now, we've been dabbling with, covering some of grapevine's posts for the last couple of months, but going forward, we wanna start, putting grapevine more into the limelight, covering a lot of the posts that appears over there. But at least for this episode, we found a very interesting one where CoinDCX has been given the best place to work by this random Romulus on grapevine. Never join or interview for CoinDCX. This shitty and scammy organization revoked my offer letter just 1 week before joining, so I decided to alert the community. My overall experience with the hiring team was very disappointing and unprofessional. It was evident they were trying to fill positions quickly without any real thought about long term vision or goals. I would advise using their offer only for negotiating outside. Half the folks inside the company. Look, it is evident that this chap is personally butthurt. I mean, obviously, who wouldn't be, right? You've given an offer, you're expecting to join, and randomly the carpet is pulled from under you. But yeah, look, I think it's a hard time for a lot of crypto companies in India, right, Pawan?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, specifically if you're taken a plunge and serving your notice period, resigned from a place, and there are 5 days left for you to join a new place, and then you realize that oh, I can't join there as well. Imagine going back to your manager saying that I'll not go. I want to stay back and having that conversation.
Saksham, look at this. Crypto exchanges were never meant to be so big. Goes against ethos of cryptos. Fundamentally at odds. Exchanges outside India have evolved, but DCX is stagnating for a while now.
How is it
I
relevant to hiring or company culture? Like, I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, it's very specific to DCX. Basically, like I also feel that crypto is all about decentralization of currency, and all these brokers, or can't call brokers, but these platforms like CoinDx do exactly same task of centralizing the decentralized currency while publishing the or advertising that crypto is a decentralized currency, which is like an oxymoron in itself.
Yeah, but they're also making it
Yeah.
accessible for people like you and me to invest in, crypto coins. Look at this thread. If I open their app, they're promoting meme coins and Web 3.0 shit. It's clear they don't know where to go. With due respect, you don't know anything about crypto. Please enlighten us. 90% tokens will be dead in next 5 years, but for business of crypto exchanges, they need to adapt new products. Octo Web3 wallet is integrated with CoinDCX for such shits meme coins, and everyone knows it. But early buyers can make 100x, 1000x money if tokens are genuine. I completely agree to this. No, even I have a lot of friends who've gone completely all in with a couple of altcoins, and they're expecting to see insane returns in the next bull cycle.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's
Let's move on.
quickly move on. This last week has also had an extremely disappointing news. One of the legends of the Indian business space, Mr. Ratan Tata, has passed away at the age of 86. It's actually a very sad moment for a lot of us Indians because this guy was a visionary, a tycoon. I mean, there are n number of adjectives you can throw at him. Saksham Pavan, your thoughts?
Somebody want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what to say about Sir Ratan Tata? When I read this news, I think so it
Yeah.
was somewhere like I'd woken up in between the night, and then I read this and I was like very shocked because we have seen this kind of news before as well, and it has turned out to be no hoax. The first thing I did was like went to Google and reconfirm like, is this true? Is this true? And this time it was true for some reason. And like what to say, like great guy. I've read a lot of books about Sir Ratan Tata. The way he took the legacy from Jamshedji Tata, how he ventured into like so many risky businesses and proved people wrong. His acquisition about JLR, it's so popular. Yeah, I think so. We lost a great soul. Uh, Rest in peace, sir. All respect.
Yeah, I
Saksham?
think just obviously starting out, I think it's a big, big loss for the entire country, and this loss, I think for everyone sort of felt personal because sir has been around for so many years and he's led the Tata Group for more than 2 decades. Not just as a human, but also as a businessman and a visionary. How he sort of did, let's say, acquisitions of brands like Land Rover, etc. How he acquired brands like Tetley, which is the world's second largest tea company. How Titan has become like a global watch brand. So 10 years ago, you would not resonate Tata with making safe cars, for example, right? But today, that's the case. They're one of the safest cars that made in India. So I think just a lot of these things, and I think he started the whole Make in India sort of concept before it was actually even a thing. He's always been just building for the country, building in the country, building for the people of the country. And I think that's the kind of visionary leader, who brought so much change. And yeah, I mean, it's an irreplaceable loss. So I think it's obviously extremely sad. Yeah.
Yeah. And as usual, our Mr. Vijay Mallya had something to say about this, and some of the comments, as usual, from that are just too funny. Very sad to hear of the passing of Mr. Ratan Tata. He was the epitome of dignity and grace at all times, even while successfully leading India's largest industrial house. Please pay back your losses as you're overcharging my home loan interest. Please pay back.
Oh God.
Oh, damn.
So funny.
Look at this. It is neither in our principle to pay interest, nor it's in our interest to pay the principal. There's
I
also,
sometimes feel so sad about like people trolling him. Yes, like from document perspective, I have read that he has paid back all the principal amount, and he's just fighting for saying that I'll not pay, which I did not owe. And I think so. Going back to this conversation of Bhavish Agarwal and all, like we need to like celebrate entrepreneurship. Like people need to be like given linear policies so that people who are taking risks are not thrown out of the country altogether.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
a quick
I don't
note
know.
to all of our viewers. Pawan is actually the grandson of Mr. Vijay Mallya, and that's why he has a honor for him. There's also another.
Can't blame
I
him.
wish
Can't.
actually. I actually wish.
Look at this. Look at what Vijay Shekhar Sharma had to say. A legend who will inspire every generation. Entrepreneurs of next generation will miss interacting with the most humble businessmen of India. Salute, sir. Okay, Tata, bye. Dude, what the
I like the
fuck?
message,
I feel
not just the last line.
I feel bad for laughing, guys. Like, it's too funny.
Anyway, that's it from this episode of the Indian Startup Desktop. See you all next time. Bye bye.
Okay, Tata. Bye
Signing
bye.
off. Bye, guys. Oh my God.